How's it going, gamers? Chongo here with another video for you guys, and today, if you see the gameplay, it's of Counter-Strike Global Offensive, which I recently purchased for the PC. So basically this video is going to be pretty much a first impressions video, so let's get into it. Now, for those of you that have never really played a Counter-Strike game, it's quite a hard sort of game to explain because there's nothing really that you can compare it to, because Call of Duty and Battlefield are kind of similar, whereas Counter-Strike doesn't really rely on iron sights and all that kind of stuff. It's more about how you react in certain situations, and yeah, most of the game types, excluding like arms racing gun games, you don't get respawns, so I suppose you could compare it to like search and destroy in Call of Duty. But yeah, it's much different just because you're not really zooming in or doing anything like that, and if you make one quick mistake you can be dead in a second. But if you are a noob and you do go to pick it up, it's not too complicated. It'll just take a couple of games, or maybe a little bit more than a couple of games for some people, just to pick up the fact that aiming in this game isn't everything. You need to try and learn how to move and all that kind of stuff, and not having sprint, and yeah, all these other features that I suppose you could say modern first-person shooters have today. Now, if you currently do have Counter-Strike Source, and you've been playing that for a while, and mainly just play mods like I do, and you don't really want a competitive experience or anything challenging or multiplayer versus or anything like that, there's no real point you getting this game, because I think Valve has also realized that this game will never really blow up as big as Counter-Strike Source when it comes to the modding side of things, and I think that's why currently on Steam Counter-Strike Source is worth $20 and Counter-Strike Go is only worth $15, because they do realize that modding, most people are just going to go get Counter-Strike Source, because the only real difference that you're going to notice, well, when it comes to modding, is pretty much the graphics, and since everyone's already got Source, or the majority of people already have Source, there's no point just upgrading mods to Counter-Strike Go. So unless you are really looking for sort of a versus sort of thing, which me personally, when I go to play Counter-Strike Source, I'm terrible at versus, whereas I found Counter-Strike Go a lot more easier to pick up, and it's still good fun as well, but just, yeah, a lot more easier to pick up, and you're not just going to get completely smashed by pros all the time. But if you currently don't have a good gaming PC and you don't think your PC will be able to run this game, I still recommend that you give it a pick up on either PlayStation or Xbox, because from what I've heard so far, apparently the ports are good on that, but there's still nowhere near as good as PC. But yeah, if you're looking for sort of like a different kind of shooter that's not always about aiming down sights and takes a little bit more skill than Battlefield or Call of Duty, you will definitely enjoy something like this. Now, one of my favourite aspects for any Counter-Strike game, and especially Global Offensive, is unlike in Call of Duty and Battlefield, where throughout matches and games you're building up your levels to get better guns, and you can basically end up joining a game and already be better than someone just because of all the guns you've got. In this, you all start off with the same amount of money, and you earn money by either planting the bomb or killing enemies and doing stuff like that. So for the very start, I think you can only really afford pistols, so everyone starts off with any pistol that they choose or buy or whatnot, and then basically from there, if you do really good in the game, you're going to have a lot more money to spend on rifles and all that kind of stuff. But I actually do like the system, because it sort of teaches you to kind of be better and faster, because if you're too slow, you might be on pistols for a second round while everyone else is on the assault rifles and submachine guns. So it sort of it works out bad in some cases, though, if you're having a couple of bad games, but overall it works out better because everyone starts off on the same level when you start the game. So if you have played Counter-Strike Source before, but you never really got into the versus and you wanted to, it's just that it felt like you were a little bit too noob or couldn't really pick it up, then you should probably get Counter-Strike Go, because it feels a lot more fluid and easier when it comes to competitive. Although it is still good, it just feels more noob-friendly in a way. But yeah, it would definitely be a good choice to pick up that if you're interested in that kind of versing stuff. But if you're really just interested in mods and all that kind of stuff, you probably won't really enjoy this game, because I can't see the modding community blowing up as big as it has for Source or Gary's Mod or anything really like that. So anyway, this sort of brings me to the end of my first impressions of Counter-Strike Global Offensive for the PC. I hope you enjoyed it. If you did, give it a like, and if you've got any comments on whether you think you'll be picking up Counter-Strike Global Offensive, or if you have picked it up, what's your favourite aspect of the game, or anything like that, put them below. And if you want to see more videos like this, subscribe. I'll see you guys next time.